While facing stinging criticism over homelessness, soaring poverty, drug use, and illegal immigration, cities on the West Coast are getting tough, taking aim at plastic straws. San Francisco is the latest city to ban all so-called single-use plastics. Seattle was the first major city to ban these kinds of things, levying a $250 fine for violations. But Santa Barbara is actually home to the strictest plastic prohibition in the country. Hefty fines for violators and even possible jail time. Tonight's panel, Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall and radio host of WMAL here in Washington, D.C., Larry O'Connor. Welcome to you both.
Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Leslie, people going to jail over plastic straws? This is not The Onion. This is for real.
It is not The Onion. It is for real. But nobody's going to go to jail. And you have me here on tape saying that. I don't think they are. What they're trying to do is emphasize how stringent the city of Santa Barbara, where I'm going this weekend, as a matter of fact, wants to be on this issue. But there are two problems that I have with this, to be honest. I like what Seattle did, two things, which is imposed a fine of $250, as you said, Shannon, but also they've exempted the disabled, because there are some people that need to drink from stores that don't have an option. So I think that Santa Barbara needs to look at that again. And we also have to look at Santa Barbara. The marine life is being hurt by plastic straws and other plastics, and the marine life is the way that many people get their livelihood, and a lot of tourists come to Santa Barbara centered around that marine life, whether they're fishing or whether they're eating it, famous fish and chips on the pier right there off the Pacific Coast Highway.
Larry, she makes her compelling argument, and I'll add this from San Francisco supervisor Katie Tang. She says San Francisco has been a pioneer of environmental change, and it's time for us to find alternatives to the plastic that is choking our marine ecosystems and littering our streets. Although we've heard other things are littering the streets there too, Larry.
Yeah, I am so tempted to call this a straw man argument, Shannon. Think about this. Last week, right here, this same group of three amazing people on Fox News, we were talking about how the city of San Francisco wants to give illegal immigrants the right to vote. So they want to give people who are in this country illegally the right to vote, but they don't want us to be able to use a straw. They want to put a waitress in jail for giving my kid a bendy straw with a soda drink. It really is ridiculous, and it tells you the priorities of people in California right now. I dare I say, I think this is the last straw for many people in that
Okay, I'm going to
state.
stop you there. Let me read you something that comes in from Noah Rothman, CommentaryMagazine.com. He says, the combination of technocratic arrogance, insularity, and condescension displayed by the left's straw banners would be irksome enough, but our social engineers are not done inconveniencing you. Instead of disposable plastic straws, Americans are being asked to switch to biodegradable paper straws, which function precisely as advertised. They biodegrade upon contact with fluid. Leslie.
Well, then I think there's Larry can look into a future in biodegradable paper straws that don't fall apart when you drink through them. Look, this is not the only issue in California. And Larry, I do want to remind you that Santa Barbara is not in San Francisco. It's in between Los Angeles and San Francisco.
But San Francisco just voted for this as well.
Yeah, they're all doing some form of it.
But Santa Barbara's the one that's saying, hey, we're going to give you up to 6 months jail time. Yeah. And like I said, it's not going to happen. The environment is a huge issue in California. And you have to look at the things that we have done, not only with the ocean, but also with our air quality. If you look at pictures of smog years ago versus today, there's been a vast improvement. We can multitask. I know that I do. And you can do it in or outside of California. But in California, although we do care about health care and immigration, we do care very much so about the environment. And plastics, National Geographic just shows not only with marine life, but with our oceans, it contributes to the pollution. And by the way, that contributes to us in our bodies, because we eat that fish that is
Okay, let me read you something from The Economist. They say this. Last October, scientists at the Helmholtz Center for Environmental Research in Germany found that 10 rivers, 2 in Africa and the rest in Asia, discharge 90% of all plastic marine debris. The Yangtze alone carries 1.5 metric tons a year. I refuse to translate that because I don't recognize metrics because I'm an American. But Larry, they're saying the problem is Africa and Asia.
I know. I've been to Santa Barbara and all up and down the Pacific coast. There's not a whole lot of littering there. I mean, California is full of so many virtuous people like Leslie that they'll never litter to pollute their beautiful coast. Why do they they even need this law since Californians are so superior to the rest of us. This is just virtue signaling. This is a bunch of elected officials trying to tell their constituents how much they care. And again, it does tell you their priorities. You know, just now you had a story about an illegal immigrant in Whittier, where my kids live, Whittier, California, who took a chainsaw to his
allegedly
wife. And I think that's a little more serious. Maybe our elected officials should be looking at that story instead of worrying about what we drink our frozen lattes out of.
All right, Leslie and Larry, we are not going to come to a consensus on this.
Not
but
tonight.
Leslie, I will say he gave you a lot of nice compliments there and talked about how fantastic the people of California are.
So virtuous.
So
Yes.
we will leave it at that, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you both.
Thanks.
Thank you, Shan.